The next card you have is any internal factors, anything you're feeling throughout the month of November or coming into the month of November. This is generally how you're feeling approaching the month or, you know, just getting started in the month. And you have death. Death is one of my favorite cards. Everybody thinks, oh, it's death. It's a physical death, etc. It's not a physical death for the most part. But especially in this internal factor, this is change. So if you're single, you are definitely changing the way that you're dating. You're definitely changing the energy you're putting in the universe. You're definitely changing the types of people you're dating. You're changing your attitude. It's kind of like you're just saying, like, I'm reborn and I know what I want. And I think some of you have been kind of doing like playing the field, and not in a bad way, not in a disingenuine, like screwing people over way, but just seeing what's out there and just having fun and enjoying it. But you miss that contentment of being with a partner. You miss having somebody to call your own. And the holidays may have something to do with it too, because it may be that, you know, the holidays coming up, you're kind of like, I want that person to kiss under the mistletoe. I want that person to ring in the new year. And you've wanted that all along, but now you're kind of taking it a little more serious. But to get there, you know that there has to be a death of a certain type of behavior. So there has to be a death of, you know, putting into the universe that you're a playboy or playgirl, or putting into the universe that, hey, I want to hang out, I want to date, but I don't really want anything serious. Because if you don't, you're not going to get people who take it serious. And then you're going to get more of the people who are like, the grass is greener. They're constantly looking for something better. And you're kind of tired of it. I feel like Virgos are kind of like, okay, you know, I've had fun and you've met some interesting people. And I say interesting because I think you've met some interesting people. But at the conclusion of it all, I think you're ready to kind of buckle down. And you want to start the new year with somebody pretty amazing. But again, changes inside you equal changes in the type of people you pick, the type of people you date, and the type of, you know, the way you represent yourself when you are dating. If you're looking to reconcile, this is either like a complete death of the relationship and you deciding, which again, I kind of feel like it's in your hands. Now, sometimes you guys get irritated with me because I say, well, you know, I know you're going to have to reach out and contact them, but either you've done that and you've maybe gotten their attention and it's not going the way you wanted, or they've reached out to you because a lot of you have pushed back and said, I'm not going to do it this time. I'm not going to. So this is you saying, I'm done. Like, this is a death of relationship. And I know that I need to, you know, transform. I know that I need to be over it and be done with it. However, the very opposite could be happening. We won't know until we get through the cards, but the very opposite could be happening, that all of a sudden it's transformation within the reconciliation, that there's a rebirth, because this stands for rebirth as well. So this is you maybe connecting finally. Maybe they reached out to you. Maybe you were stubborn and said, hey, I'm not going to. And they reached out to you. At some point in November, there's going to be some sort of communication. And it's either going to be communication that goes unanswered by you, communication that goes unanswered by them, and then it's like official. This is like make or break. Like, you're going to know at some point this month, either you're all in, you're all out, it's going to work, or it's not going to work. The next card you have is your distant past. So generally over the past few years, could be as, you know, far as 10 years out. And you have the Four of Coins. Again, you're showing up here, Virgo, in your read, which is definitely good. Now, I always bring up the past when I read it for singles and anybody looking to reconcile together, because because the past is always about taking the good and bringing that into each month and into each relationship, and remembering the good things and how you're going to manifest that into a new relationship, but also remembering the bad, not dwelling on it. There's a difference between dwelling on it and remembering it. And this says, hey, these are behaviors to not bring into the relationship, or these are things to remember to avoid. And the force is that at some point in time, you were, generally this represents financial or some sort of grievances. So either you were young and you had no money, very impoverished, and a lot of people have gone through that. And this is something that you vowed you'd never be. So you work very hard, which we all know Virgos work very hard. And sometimes they give you a hard time about how hard you work. but you've decided, you won't allow yourself to ever be in that situation again. And it could be, you watched your parents go through hard times and it resulted in divorce. It could be that your parents never spent money on anything and you watched them kind of, live their life being semi-miserable, not having that love chakra, not having that heart energy. This is also a past relationship that you may have had where it was all about money, or it was all about, work and no play. And that got into the way of, relationship, or your relationship was all about work and no play. And so you felt like all you ever did was work, work, work at the relationship. And it just became, monotonous, and there was no more love there. And now you're going, okay, even though I'm hardworking and even though I'm dutiful and, you're very methodical, you realize now that, love is love, and there's more to love than money. There's more to love than, making it work. And if you have to work too hard at it, it doesn't work. The next card you have is your immediate past over the past few months, past few weeks. And you have the Nine of Swords, which, this doesn't surprise me, but it tells me something good is coming along with this Death card. All right. So if you're single, the Nine of Cords, I don't know where that came from. Coins. I'm trying to say coins because you keep popping up, but it's the Nine of Swords. So I guess I was mixing swords and coins together. The Nine of Swords is about anxiety, depression, fear, but it's very interesting. Virgo, I think you're feeling this anxiety because you can sense this coming. Ooh, Virgo. Some of you can sense this coming big time. That's why this card is showing as your theme of the month, because this month is all about choices. And you have some big decisions to make and you're feeling very anxious about them. Don't introvert. Don't go back in. Don't be the hermit, because the hermit's not here right now. But don't be the hermit. That's the card that represents Virgo. And the hermit is going back into the man or woman cave and kind of rethinking things. I feel like you got to take charge, Virgo. You got to either come out and be like, hey, I'm looking for something serious, or just keep on dating and having a good time. But I think you're ready for that transformation or that change. It's coming. And if you're single, you're just like, all right, the big one's coming. Somebody's coming into my life, and you can sense it. That intuition part of you is kind of coming out. Now, Virgos are known for being, hardworking and whatnot. And water signs tend to be a little more on that intuitive third eye. And so I kind of feel like if you have water energy in your chart or something, all of a sudden Virgo's turning into not that you can see the future, but you can feel it coming. There's something coming. There's change coming. I think it's a person coming. I think it's a serious potential coming, and you're nervous about it, Virgo. Some of you singles are kind of maybe you've been having fun, or maybe you've been looking for this person and now it's you're going to meet them or meet one or two people that could be potentially really good for you. And now you're like, whoa, I don't know what to do and I don't want to screw it up. Okay, if you're looking to reconcile, this is very similar because like I said, I think that it's either the death of the relationship or it's a rebirth of the relationship. And either way, you're feeling anxious about it, or the past few weeks or past month or two. It's almost like, Virgo, the tables have reversed. They're contacting you, or they're going to contact you, or something happened. Something happened the past few weeks or the past month or two where they've contacted you, or you had some sort of communication, or maybe they were dating somebody and you see now that they've broken up, or maybe if you're still friends on social media, you see that they liked something of yours, or you hear through the grapevine that they've asked about you. There's something here. And so it's almost making you feel well, whoa, do we really have another stab at this? Or am I just completely ending this? And am I ready to end it? And if you are, you're anxious about ending it because that this will be the completion. This will be the end. And you're going to have no other choice but to just completely move on. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months through the end of the year. And you have the Ten of Cups, which is completely opposite of the Nine of Swords here. Because the Ten of Cups is about family. This is about peace, joy. So again, here in the U.S., it's about to be, Christmas, Thanksgiving. And that may play a major role into, if you're single, why you're looking for that one now. Why you're kind of going, okay, I'm not sure I want to date or do the spontaneous fun, friends with benefits, or even just, dating but not looking for anything serious. I think you're relishing in the fact that you do want something serious now. I think you needed some time off to kind of like sow your wild oats, just be footloose and fancy free. But what you've wanted all along is something stable. And the 10 is saying it's coming. And I think that might be what you're feeling here. Either you're going to meet somebody with kids and you're going to have like a combined family. You're going to meet somebody who's on the same wavelength with you. It could be that you've been dating and been having fun. And now you feel like, okay, I'm growing into that position in my life where I want a family. I want a career. I want somebody to come home with. I don't want to go out to bars. I don't want to do this. I don't want to live that bachelorette life anymore. I want something genuine and something serious. And this says if you're single, like there it is. It's right there. It's coming. It also could be with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, because cups represents water. And it's definitely a sign that's showing up in your distant future. If you're looking to reconcile, there's a big possibility that there's the rebirth that you're looking for, because this is saying like, hey, there's potential there for family. There's potential there for some sort of peace offering. So, and I think it may take you by surprise, and that's why you've been feeling anxious. Even if there isn't communication, there's likely going to be communication, and it may throw you off, and you may be feeling it coming too. The interesting thing about signs, and not just Virgo, but like Virgo, so like earth signs and water signs, they can be really good for each other or really bad for each other. But if they connect, it's like a connection like none other. So sometimes when you're split, even though you're thinking about each other, it's like you can feel each other's energy thinking about each other. And that's the hard part. A lot of times with deeper connections between signs, and again, it could be different, all different signs. When you have that deep connection, it's almost like you can feel their presence before they come. Does that make sense? I've had connections with exes where, like we're texting at the same time, or we're calling at the same time, or we're thinking about each other at the same time, or, I would see like the color of his car, or just different things that kind of, you're on a different wavelength than you have been with anybody in a long time. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks and throughout the month of November, and you have the Ace of Cups, and here it is, Virgo. The Ace of Cups is beginnings. This is about love. But this is about love, a friendship building on a deeper level, and it's about excitement. So here's this anxious that I was worried about, but this is like almost a happy anxiety. Again, you're almost like representing like a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio in these feelings, because it's so intuitive this month for you, Virgo, that it's like you're not even going to have to put much work into it. Your gut is like speaking to you. Yes, you're going to have to put some work into it because it's, a two-way street. It takes two to tango. But like you're almost anxious about what's happening or what's going to happen with it. The Ace of Cups, for anybody who's single, this is a beginning. It may not be a, like jump 2 feet in and let's talk about marriage in 2 months, but it's definitely a beginning, and it becomes a friendship, and it becomes love, or it becomes love and builds on a friendship. But the Ace is a very, very good card, and it's an excitement. You're going to be excited about it. And I think that you've been a little worried that like if you get out of the dating life, or if you do decide to get serious, that you're going to have to be like on heart alert all the time, like watching, you can't wear your heart on your sleeve. But whoever this is that you're meeting or coming, together with, is they already are going to be okay with taking care of your heart. They're going to make you feel secure in that. If you're looking to reconcile, you have two choices, either a new beginning or an ending, and then a new beginning with somebody else. Because I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be an ending and then a new beginning with somebody else, I think this reconciliation has a positive vibe there, but it's going to be a new beginning. However, it's very much excitement, and it's love. And some of you haven't heard from in a long time, and they just pop up, or you pop up. It also may be that when you guys were dating, you guys would say you're going to get married, or you'd say that you love each other. You say this stuff, but it didn't come to fruition. You didn't manifest it. And this is kind of like a new opportunity to where you guys realize like this is what I want. So whatever we have to do, whether it's get married or whether it's, you know, somebody feels insecure in the relationship, somebody has trust issues, somebody, you know, doesn't put as much effort into it. And, you know, Virgos get irritated with me. But the thing about earth signs that I love is you're very forthcoming, right? You're like, well, I told you I love you and that should be enough. Like, my word is my honor. And then when you mix it with a water sign, because you have the cups now again here, if you mix it with like a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, they're needing that romantic. They're needing that vibe. And I know, Virgo, I'm going to get the messages. I did the romance. Again, it's general. It's not always going to resonate with you, or it's resonating with you and it's pissing you off. But again, there's no blame here, Virgo. It's saying that, and that's the thing too, is like, I've dealt with that with Virgos. So I understand it and I understand where they come from, and I've learned to appreciate it more and more and more. Virgos look at it and say, my word is my strength. And then I will work on it and I will work hard and I will make it happen. And that's what I love about Virgos. Because you say, I love you, and you make it happen. But you have to realize that there are Virgos out there who think, or earth signs, or any sign for that matter, who think, I've said it and I'm showing you. But then there's other people who, they don't see it that way. And that's where the communication comes in. And that's where I think if the reconciliation does happen, it's almost like you're going to say, what do you need? What can I do? What do you need to be happy and feel fulfilled with me and feel connected again? And they're going to say the same thing to you. Like, hey, maybe I've been hard on you, or maybe I've played the blame game with you. What do you need from me? And then there's this new beginning that's going to be very possible and happening. The next card you have is anything external. So throughout the month of November, it could be the beginning, middle, end. It could happen once. It could happen 10 times. This is something that's going to happen that's tangible. And you have the Hierophant. And this is about religion, teacher, conformity. This is about a higher power, something higher than you. So if you're single, either you're getting back into religion, or you're maybe praying more, or there's some sort of something where you're kind of touching base with a higher power, or you're looking at like the signs. You're trusting in the universe. You're letting God take the wheel, so to speak, whether it's God, whether whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, even if you don't believe in. Somehow you're saying, I can't control it. I'm not going to try and control it. I'm going to let it happen. And I think that's why it's going to flow so much easier and give you more of what you want, because you're not going to try and control it. But you're also not going to be like stubborn and push against it. It's like you're going to open up again. You're going to open up for it, but you're not going to like try and move it, manipulate it. Okay. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, it's very similar. However, this tells me more like, are you guys going to head to the altar? Is this going to be something that you needed, something fast? Because this tells me like you could be seeking out a priest, or you could be like one of you, maybe one of you wanted to get married and the other didn't, or one of you want to have kids or the other one didn't. You're almost going to be feeling like you're conforming, but you're not really. You're making choices to get these outcomes that you want. And so maybe one of you is like, no, I don't want to get married again. I've been married. It didn't work for me. But you realize now that that's what's important to the other person. And you're deciding that you want to compromise and they want to compromise. Again, it's not saying it's just you, Virgo, but there's some sort of communication or compromise that, you know, is going to happen. The next card you have is anything internal. So anything that will happen throughout the month that, you know, you'll feel. Again, it could be once during the month. It could be the entire month of November. And this is the King of Cups. Again, water showing up here big time for you. The King of Cups, if you're single, this is about somebody who's listening. This is about somebody who is not trying to manipulate the situation, or you have to be careful not trying to manipulate the situation. Being single, you're also making sure that they're not trying to manipulate you, because I feel like that's why you kind of been doing like the fly by the seat of your pants dating, not wanting anything too serious, because you felt like in the past you've been manipulated to believe one thing and it didn't necessarily come through. You're also being very calm, whereas I feel like you've been kind of, you know, that footloose and fancy free energy, just doing what you want, having a good old time. And some of you are going, wow, like I'm doing stuff now that I didn't even do in my 20s. And you're kind of reining it in You're coming in more calm and you're listening. You're listening more to what people want and what they're telling you and understanding that, and then understanding how you fit in that and whether you guys could fit together. Again, this is internal. So this is working on yourself and really listening to what you want and listening to what this person you're going to meet is saying that they want and how that affects you both. If you're looking to reconcile, this is all about communication. So this is huge. If they come back to you, you have to listen to the, you don't have to do anything, but this card is saying you have to listen to what they're saying. Don't preempt yourself. Don't assume. Don't try and manipulate it to pointing fingers or playing the blame game, because some of you were reaching out. You were trying to communicate and they wouldn't have any of it, and you're done and you're pissed. And now they're going to surprise the hell out of you and come back and you're going to be like, I'm listening. I'm listening. And you're going to have to calm yourself a little bit more. And some of you may even end up going to counseling, because that's definitely like words of wisdom or reaching out to somebody else for some guidance. But it may also be that you're going to try one last time and they're going to listen and you guys are going to have communication. But again, don't manipulate the situation. No blame. If it's what you want, you know, again, let it happen freely. Let somebody else take the wheel. Let it go. Let the universe kind of